So how do we begin to fix the problem?
We start with ourselves. We start with our community, number one, and the people that say they care. One thing that I have a problem with is I have a problem with a lot of parents right now because they say they care about their kids, but they're not willing to live in excellence, right? They're not willing to sacrifice their own selfish needs in order for them to live at the highest standard for their children. Right. So if you truly cared about the community, you truly care about the future of our children, well, it starts with us, right? It starts with us right here on this podcast saying, hey, we're going to come together. We're going to make sure that if our children believe the same things, we're going to make sure we have more time together, right? We're not going to go with the riffraff and be in places that doesn't make sense and uphold our standards. But it starts with us in our own communities. It starts with us in our own schools. It starts with us making the change and being the change so that way it inspires other people to follow suit.
I think Theodore Roosevelt said it the best. It is not the critic who counts. It is not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or how the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
Well, with that being said, for anybody out there that's watching or listening, I mean, my man Gary just said it starts at home.
Yeah.
It starts at home. And you don't got to look too far to prove the fact that is true based off the data, right? Obese parents have obese kids. Yep. Alcoholic parents eventually have alcoholic children, right? That become adults, of course, right? I mean, it's passed down from generation to generation to generation, right? So, these children, they're growing up and they're watching mom and they're watching dad, and we are, because we're all parents here. We're their first love. Yep. We're their first superheroes.
First mentor.
We're their first mentors. We're their first disciplinaries, right? So
access to being a human, right?
Yeah.
We are the bridge to how to be a great human.
And this is what I'll say just to wrap up here. For everybody out there that's listening, I want to say a couple of things. One, remember, right, as parents, the way you treat each other is the example you're setting for your children. When they get into relationships, right, that's how they're going to treat their significant other based off, what you're saying to your significant other, what you're doing to your significant other, how you're treating them, the level of respect that you display on a daily basis, right? That's one thing, and people have to understand that. So remember, the way you treat each other as parents, the games that the adults play, the children will pay. Now, number two, okay, the best thing that you can do for your children is be a happy adult.
Yeah.
Be a happy adult.
Yeah.
Man, if you go over to our house, right, and I'll wrap it up, our children, man, our daughters, they're happy kids.
Yeah. Because
they're around happy adults all the time.
Yep.
We're teaching them to be happy adults. So there's hope. They're like, when I'm an adult, I'm just going to be as happy as I am right now.
Just with money.
Just in a different way, right? Yeah. So those are two things that I just have to tell people. Every parent out there that's listening is the way that you treat each other at home, okay? Be very conscious of that and be a happy adult.
Yeah.
Let me piggyback off that real quick. Just one last thing that I would add to that is also be conscious of who your children are being educated or mentored by.
Correct.
And I told this to my son. That's right. He was blessed with an extremely talented individual that taught him how to break dance. Not only was he magnificent in the skill, but he was such a great mentor as well too. Gravity,
you
yeah.
You can definitely say his name.
My buddy
Amazing
Gravity.
Human being.
He just did an absolute phenomenal job with my son as a foundation, and I couldn't ask for anything better, honestly.
That's beautiful.
His nickname is Gravity. Yeah, just imagine this, right? This dude, when his son, he's a great breakdancing.
Oh yeah,
right. He's
amazing.
He's a great breakdancer. Well, he had one of the best in the world teaching him.
Right. Right.
Guess what I'm doing for my daughter in her basketball sessions? Coaches that have trained NBA players, professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. If you have the resources to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's all you're going to leave on this earth, right? Our children are always going to be a reflection of who we are.
Yep. Yes.
So equip them with everything they need to continue on the good fight. You
Yep.
know? So with that being said, we're going to wrap up. I'm just going to say, hey, listen, for everybody out there that's watching or listening, if you are enjoying this show, this is your only fee. We don't charge. Just subscribe and share. Subscribe and share. Tell somebody about this. If you're like, man, I love what they're breaking down. I love how deep they're going. This isn't your average surface level show. So go tell somebody about it and start to let them start to voluntarily evolve, right? Well, until the next time, this has been the All In Podcast with your host, Carlos Reyes, and friends. Talk to you soon.